we have to start requiring more from the people around us. Let me say that again. We have to start requiring more from the people that are around us. So, years ago, I was coaching, and I met this. I was coaching this young, I was coaching a girls' team. I can't remember if it was softball or basketball. One of those two. I think it was softball. It was definitely softball. Coaching a girls' softball team, and there was a young lady on the team. Talked to her a little bit. Figure out, and I'm not trying to try to put her on blast in particular, but she had a couple of kids out of wedlock. Two kids. One was my daughter's age. She was on my daughter's team. I was coaching that team, and there was another one who was 4 or 5, something like that. And she was telling me one day, they talk to their coaches all the time, right? This is going on, that's going on. You become their therapist and coach and all, kids coach and all this stuff. So she's telling me that she had never been on a date before. Two kids had never been on a date. No one had taken her to McDonald's. No one had taken her to bowling, putt-putt golfing, Dave and Buster's, a walk in the park. This is what she told me. And I asked her. I didn't ask her about a walk in the park. But all that stuff, I said, no man has ever taken you. I'm not going to dig. I'm just a coach. Who the heck am I? But I'm like, man, this is crazy. You got two kids? She said they would always come over. I would cook, and they would just do whatever. Never took them out the house. Never took her out the house. Now, I think the kids were about different men too. So, and she wasn't ugly. It might be. Let me just put that out there. Well, she was okay in the face, but her body was ridiculous. But whatever. So I want to couple that idea with this video that I'm going to put on the screen here, but I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play it because the woman's advice is absolute trash. You can go over to Instagram and go find her.
Have you ever dated a guy where you realize that there are so many things in life that he's never experienced? He's never had a birthday party. He's never had a birthday cake. He's never had a woman buy anything for him. He's never had anybody celebrate him. He's never had a woman reciprocate, okay? Maybe that is cooking for him or actually paying for the date from time to time, all right? And you think that this is a perfect time to come into this man's life and to show him that you're different than any other woman that he's ever experienced. Hi, my name is Tasia. I'm a confidence and dating coach, and I teach women how to control their emotions so that their emotions don't control them. You can't provide peace to a man that isn't ready. Save your money, save your time, save your money and save your time, baby, okay? Because if this man has not gone to therapy and he has not addressed some of his childhood traumas and wounds, all right, he will forever be comfortable in chaos. He will forever be comfortable with women that reject him and that reminds him that he's less than. So while you think you're coming into his life, baby, and allowing him to feel safe, seen, protected, and cared for, he's going to be attracted to the people that remind him of his mother, okay? He's going to be attracted to the women that reject him, the Keishas that never picked up the phone, the Keishas that were unavailable, all right? It's going to remind him of the broken childhood, okay? The housing instability, going from mama house to papa house, from TT house to unk house, okay? It's going to remind...
It's the worst, some of the worst advice. And listen, I've critiqued her advice before. I think of all the videos that has ever popped up, I'm not subscribed to her. She pops up in my algorithm every now and then. And her advice is just horrible. The advice I critiqued her most for was giving 90% into anything that she's doing in the relationship. Hold back 10% for yourself, whatever. Absolute garbage. And I don't know why this lady continues to get clicks and views and who's listening to this lady and this, that, and I don't understand it. So you have to require more of the people who you are allowing in your life. Now, what she was saying in this particular video, the one that's on the screen right now, I'm not going to play it. You can just go over and watch it. The video is her talking about a man who's never had any woman do anything nice for him. He'd never had any woman come over to his house, cook and clean for him, wash his clothes, do anything nice for him, take him out on a date, offer to pay for a date. The man who's never done that. And so her advice was to stay away from that type of dude. Wait a minute. So let me circle back here. Let me connect this to the first story I told you. The only blame that I had for that woman is that she ran into dusty men and she needed to up her game. That would be the only critique that I had for that. You gotta require more. You should have required this, a date or whatever. I didn't. I mean, there is a lot of blame to go along with the men, but the men are only going to allow they're only going to do what you allow. So circle back to the story about this particular lady here and the story she's trying to convince women of, that if you run into a guy who's never met a woman who's willing to cook, clean, take him out on a date, whatever, there's something wrong with the dude. No. What men are experiencing is that there's something wrong with the women. The women that they come across don't want to or don't know how to cook, clean. They come over to your house, see a mess in your house, and won't clean it up. Take you out and go out on a date and never expect you to pay. That's what we're dealing with. So the men out there have to require more of that. This is what your requirement has to be. Because if you want to be a wife, to me, if you want to be a wife, don't you have to exhibit wifely duties, wifely responsibilities? That means going over to his house. If you see something out of place, out of line, that you clean it up, that you help out. If a man, conversely, one time I went over to this young lady's house. I was in a relationship at the time, so we were just going to hang out with her sister, and there was like a bunch of light bulbs that weren't working in the house. Right? There was a bunch of light, and I started making jokes about it. Now, her boyfriend at the time was at the house. He heard me making jokes about it. What did he do? He went out and got some bulbs. That was his. He should have done that. He should have done that before I started making jokes about it. But my point is that you should take some initiative. Now, he took the hints, he took the initiative, and he went out and got his woman some light bulbs in the house. So when he walk in the house, flick a light on, or when he's not there, and his girl flicks on the light, all the stuff in the house is working. You can see, right? It was a bunch of lights, bunch of them that just weren't working, bunch of them. So my point is saying is you gotta require more. You got to require more. This is what I expect of a boyfriend. This is what I expect of a girlfriend. This is what I expect. And if you want to be a wife, you want to be elevated from talking status to dating status to dating to fiance and eventual marriage status, you got to prove yourself. And these people out here are not proving themselves. So if you're a man and you run into some women who are not proving themselves, kick them to the curb. But her thought process was, this guru's thought process was, there must be something wrong with the man. No, maybe these women out here are just broken, dusty, and don't want to do it. Don't know how to do it. Don't know that they should do it. Remember before, and this lady should about 40ish or so, she should understand, the guru I'm talking about should understand that years ago that women understood that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That hasn't changed. What has changed is what your parameters and what you think should be viable for a man. That's what's changed. You think that he should be looking for a woman who's bossing up and don't know how to cook and working overtime and extra hours and on the game, grinding 60 hours a week. You think that's what you think that, and socially upwardly mobile and all this stuff. The same thing that a woman is looking for. That is not what men are looking for. We've gone over this 1,000 times.
Maybe your standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages. In the last 6 months alone, I've created 4 different applications and 2 different programs across the iOS platform.
Sounds like you're a dude. Because you just gave an entire laundry list of things that not one singular guy on the planet gives a fuck about. These are all things that a woman wants to hear from a guy. I don't want to ask my girl, hey, let's go to dinner tonight. And she's like, no, I'm coding my app.
So her advice, the guru's advice, is for you to avoid those type of men, because he's looking for a mama. He's looking for somebody to wash his clothes. No, he's looking for a wife, someone who's nurturing. That's what the man is looking for. And for this woman to be up on Instagram with her bra out, not exhibiting any type of femininity or demureness, all out in the open, with her shirt, and in one video it was either her bra on. What are you doing? Who was listening to this woman? God, dog. Who is listening to this woman? When I'm telling you to level up and expect more, require more, move like you deserve more. I'm talking about that for any potential mates, spouses, your job, your boss, your manager. If you're a boss or manager, require more of yourself, require more of your employees, and require more of your gurus. Listen. I know I'm a divorce guy. And you shouldn't come to me for marital advice. You should not come to me with how to. I can certainly tell you what some things sprinkled around that'll be there, and I would get it. I would get it. Somebody says, "Don't listen to this dude because he's been divorced." I'm telling you how not to get divorced. I'm telling you about how not to get divorced. I'm going to tell you about how I think the game should go and how much it's changed and what you got to redirect your energies into something that's going to make it work. That's about as far as the advice I'm going to give. I'm not going to tell you to go out there and ignore somebody because he met a woman and because nobody ever took him out on a date. Maybe he was just so chivalrous that he just always wanted to pay, and he just was in that particular place. But you want to tell women to avoid men like that on the play while you're sitting here looking like you need to go to the gym and you just ate 12 ho-hos? Come on. Listen. We got to require more of the people that we allow to speak into our minds, into our heads, into our spirits, whatever you want to call it. You got to require more. That includes me. I'm not exempt from that. You got to require more of these gurus who are not married, who are divorced, who are ups and downs and can't keep a relation. You got to dig into these people's past and lives, their qualifications, who they are, what they're talking about. This lady. It's jibber jabber, it's babble. It ain't gonna work with no real man. It ain't gonna work. You're gonna avoid a dude. You gotta get to know this man. Now, if you meet him and he's unworthy because he's just a jerk, okay, that's fine. But you come across a guy, he says, listen, I never had a woman pay for my date. I can almost tell you that. The dates I've been on, I've only been in relationships. Only in relationships has a woman paid for me. I've never paid for a date. So somebody's going to cross me off the list because I've never paid for a date? Or because, and listen, I'm going to tell you, I've had ladies come to my house. I've noticed some things. When I walk in the house, like, oh, man, I really should have, whatever. No lady has ever offered to clean up. I think you should. I've cooked and then washed dishes after. But like, the arrangements of your house. So is that a crossing off negative? What I don't even understand why she would say this. I don't understand why she would say this. You have to understand that the time of dating, of bringing a man a plate, bringing a man, washing his clothes, whatever, that time is gone. So a lot of ladies don't think about it. They're not doing that. They think it's beneath them. They want to be equals. They want you to clean up just as much as they do. They want you to change pampers and diapers and this and that. Meanwhile, no man is requiring his wife to go outside and cut the grass just like he is. No man is requiring his woman to change the oil just as much as he is on the car. No man is requiring to trim the bushes, to power wash the house, change light bulbs. Nobody's requiring that no man is requiring that of women. You're not requiring it. It's not a deal breaker for men. Listen, this girl came to my house. She saw my lawn need to be cut, and she need to. Why she didn't offer to cut my lawn? Said no man ever. Man, she had a bunch of trash in the house, and how come she didn't take it out to the curb for me? But you want to disqualify a man because he met a woman. I don't even know if I have to play it. I don't even know. It was just so stupid to me. It was just so stupid to me. I just couldn't believe it. So you got to require more of people who are going to be in your life. As I started out the story with, if you're a woman and you meet a man who don't ever want to take you out in public, you got to stay away from that dude because he either just wants to sleep with you during the day and not there's something wrong with you. He don't want to be seen with you in public. If you're a man and you also run into women who come to your house and you notice things a little off, or dishes need to be washed, or just clothes need to be clean, and she don't offer to do any of these nurturing type of feminine things, why is that not a red flag for you? And I mean red, as in stop. I've often talked about yellow flags, things to be cautious of. But why is that not a red flag for you? You always got to cook the meals. You always got to do this. You always got to show that you're chivalrous, that you're an evolved man. You always got to show that. You always got to demonstrate that. Do the women have to evolve at all? And meanwhile, people are listening to this lady who's on the internet and bras. Require more of everyone. You got to require more.